Oh, yeah, we're going to eat during this shit. Welcome. Hello there, James. Good to see you, my brother.
Good to see you.
Pardon me, brother.
Pardon me, brother.
This is the PIP version of the show. We're going to do a picture-in-picture today.
The PIP of the PM.
Oh, you know what's coming.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah. All right. Well, this is kind of an unorthodox one. Usually Jim and I will have a conversation or we'll text back and forth and stuff. And we'll say, hey, we should talk about this or we should talk about this. We had to do some repair work on another episode that we did, which was number 5 with Abby. And anyway, so we have some time now where it's just kind of us. I've got a kind of a Maj Podge combination of some stuff that I thought we'd go over. So a lot of this is not in necessarily any particular order, but
Okay.
we can have a conversation about some stuff. And also some of these topics I think are going to be longer,
Okay.
but it'll be what it'll be.
I'll do my best not to cough too much.
I'll try not to pass gas. Sorry. One of the things that I wanted to kind of go over is we had talked about some upcoming podcasts.
Yes.
Okay. I know that we had thrown them out the idea. I'm going to hit that loser button on myself. Thrown out the idea, okay, we got Dad, right?
Yes.
Big Jim missing. We threw out there, we know we want to bring the wives on. I just got yelled at by my youngest daughter because my wife's not been on the podcast yet. But there were actually plans for that. We just haven't got there yet.
You can't do everybody at once.
Thank you. Somebody understands.
Besides, I prefer to have people on who watch the podcast at least once.
Ooh. They call that in the entertainment industry a burn. Ooh, burn. Ooh, burning. All right. That was kind of gay. Anyways, so upcoming podcast. I definitely want to finish off the kids. I want to see Jared. Definitely Tyler. When we get past them, because we've already had Sam, we just kind of had Abby. It might be fun to have a couple, like a combination with some of the kids. Like have like Sam and Abby together, or Tyler and Abby together, or
Justin and Zach.
something like that. Well, and that's the other part of it too. We haven't even really hit your kids much at all. We've talked about Jared. We almost did the thing with Jared. We came close, and then scheduling and timing and all that stuff switched it. But I still, we got Justin, Lake, the kids. Obviously Gretchen and Zach, got to get them here at some point.
You gotta get them to listen to the podcast first.
Yeah, that's very true. It might be cool to do a little bit of this if we can at the campsite. I don't know if I guess we got to talk about that if that's something that we want to do, because this type of equipment doesn't react real well to moisture.
No.
So if we get rained on,
I just don't know if we have the time.
that's true. Well, maybe we can we'll figure something else out. I've always brought over like the cell phone, and I'll record some stuff here and there. So maybe we can do something like with that, and we'll bring those mics and maybe a tripod, because I can do the iPhone with mics and a tripod.
Why don't we do some recording? Just record on our cell phones and then throw it into a podcast, like the first one after camping. You like specifically do recording?
Yeah.
Maybe have some questions or whatever, and you could just record one person at a time and then just throw that into the video of a podcast.
Why don't we do that then? Why don't we do some stuff like that? We'll do some creative stuff at the camping site, and then when we come home,
Then you don't have to worry about taking any equipment,
Yeah.
just your phone.
Yeah, tripod phone and those mics I've got.
You can even use the cameras.
I like it. That's why I like talking about this stuff, because we can formulate a plan.
Yeah.
So that
See
was
that,
one of
yeah.
the things. Yeah, okay. So, but I only want to get to your family, the wives. I guess the question is, do we put the wives on here together, or are we gang up on them 2 on 1? Don't answer that. What about this? Getting away from the actual people. What about when we start doing these these conversation stuff. It's just topics with you and I. Is there any other topics? I know we talked about movies before,
which we haven't really done anything on.
right?
But yeah,
and we're
that's
gonna touch base on that a little bit
a
today.
huge topic. I mean, we could go on that for every single podcast we wanted. But yeah, go on.
So I was wanted to come up with some different topics besides just movies, but I do have one thing that I wanted to kind of do is Christmas 2023 is behind us now. So we're full gear into February of 2024. So I wanted to ask you, since all the Christmases are over, and that if there's any updates on anybody in your family, what's going on with you and Deb, what's going on with Zach, what's going on with Justin, Lake, Jared, everybody. Any news there with the kids while I eat?
Yeah. Well, Jared moved out.
What?
Yeah.
Are you empty nesting again?
We're empty nesting again
For the third time?
for the third time. And hopefully the final time.
No.
Yeah. He his girlfriend moved in from Adrian to Toledo. Mm-hmm. And he moved in with her.
Okay.
How
Is that going? Is that going okay?
As far as I know, it is. He was complaining today because he was looking for his drill bits and can't find them. They're in a Black & Decker case, orange and black, and he doesn't know. He said,
my.
He said that she kind of takes things and puts them away in places that he doesn't know.
Okay. All right.
And he called me looking for him at the house, and he's like, well, I guess I'm not going to do what I wanted to do because she's not answering me, and you said they're not at the house. I said, I don't see them anywhere. So
Got it.
he's not all the way out.
Well, one foot's better than no foot,
I guess.
to a degree. How do you feel about being empty nested? Was that a good thing? Obviously I know you miss them, but
Oh, we love it.
you want to think about that?
No, we love it. It's nice. Deb and I, we get into a pretty good routine, and we do our thing, and
You guys can have Naked Wednesdays again.
that never stopped, really. No, we don't do Naked Wednesdays. I don't know what you're talking
You see
about.
Debbie over there? Hey, look over here. Oh, you can't see her. Oh, she's looking at him like, what? I didn't know that. We do Tuesdays over here, but yeah, right. How about Zach and Gretchen? Since you saw them for Christmas, anything news there? Are they going to be home next year for Christmas? Or
I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Because I know with Gretchen's situation, she's got mom and dad, so she sees one and the other, and I get all that because we've all went through that. So I didn't know if this was a year or not. Okay.
Don't know.
How about Justin and Lake?
Well, Lake,
How are they doing?
they're doing good. Lake's not with the bank anymore.
Did she go back to Menards?
She's back at Menards.
What did we just buy at Menards?
Generator.
Yeah. So thanks a lot. I didn't get my discount on the $1,000 generator I bought.
We should have looked for her.
Well,
Return it and rebuy it.
yeah, we're going to return it and rebuy it.
I think the hours work better for her.
Did they? Did she not care for the job, do you think? Or was it
I
mostly?
don't think it was job. I think it was mostly hours
It's
and
tough, man, when you got two kids at home and
And-
stuff and you're trying to juggle all that.
gelling with them. They didn't do real good at both of them getting home at 6 o'clock or later.
Okay.
And this way she goes in early, but she gets the kids early.
Okay. Got it.
So she's at home, got the kids home for a couple hours before Justin gets home, and it's routine. You know how it is.
Anything going on with you, or you feeling better? Because I know you were sick there pretty bad for a little bit.
And I'm getting better slowly.
Okay. We just want to explain to the one viewer that we have out there that Jim doesn't normally cough like this, but he's still dealing with the aftermath.
The cough will not fully go away until spring, but I'm still had a little bit of. I did have a sinus infection. I still have a little bit of congestion from that, so I'm coughing more than I would. But my big problem has been the abdomen and back pain, but that's going away.
Getting better.
Finally.
Okay. Well, you look good.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't know what to say about, you look good. Does that cover everybody in your brood?
Yeah.
Well, Deb and I just fully retired, so we're done.
Yay.
Waiting for a reaction.
She didn't even hear you.
Yeah, I turned in my notice for retirement today. There it is. there it is. Hold on.
Bullshit.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah, that big old BS statement from the wifey. She doesn't care for that. No, nothing's changed there. We're still working like always.
You got your washing machine fixed. Let's talk about that.
Oh, God. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure.
Samsung washing machine that we thought was 5 years old. We looked at the receipt. No. It's like 9.5. We'll call it 10 years old.
Goes a lot faster than you think.
So fast. And then we're like, and God bless Deb. She's like, well, maybe is there any kind of warranty maybe left? And I was like, no. I thought maybe there was.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, well, that's only like maybe 3 or 4 years old, right?
Right.
And just, pow, time goes by. But anyways, it was having a problem. I had an error code because it wasn't, the machine was telling me that the error code meant it wasn't draining properly. So I'm thinking that maybe it's an exhaust line. So as I do the process of elimination and trying to figure out what it is, it just looks like that. The main exhaust line that comes off of the back of the washer that goes through the, the tube and goes out to your exhaust port. I just thought there's got to be something going dump in there. So in order to take the whole thing off, you have to take the back panel of the machine off to unclamp it from the pump, which is inside the machine all the way towards the front. So I have to unclamp it from the back, reach all the way through the machine to find the clamp to get it off and take it out of there. And try not to flood the whole thing from inside as you take that clamp off. Right. Anyways, blew that out, washed it out, a bunch of junk came out. But not enough that you go, oh, that's it. There it is. Yeah. So did that, tried to wipe some stuff out, do whatever you can kind of do, and then we, put it back together, ran once, fine. I thought, oh, maybe that's it.
Didn't you put a new pump in it too?
That was next.
Oh, that was next. Okay.
Yeah. So we ran 2 loads through it, and all of a sudden, ba-ding, 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 starts, same error code. So I started doing some research, looking it up, and it says that you probably, if there's nothing clogging your exhaust line, it's probably a pump.
Gotcha.
And that's when we started talking about warranties and that kind of stuff. And then we come to find out, and I said, well, hell, the thing's 10 years old, so I'm sure the pump's probably bad. Or if it's not bad, it's on the way, right? And I said, I'm sure that's what it is. So I did some research, found out it's really not that big of a deal to change it. It's not super involved, but it's a process, just like everything. So you come over last weekend? Last weekend, and you come over, and of course I've got the machine taken apart. Tyler is over here. He's got brake problems with his truck, so he's got the truck up in jacks, working on that. And that's a whole nother story, mister. So we'll get to that, because that was pretty funny. He'll love to hear that. But so anyways, I changed the pump out, and then changed the exhaust, or pulled the exhaust port. You have to pull that off to change the pump because the pump's attached to that. But we go through all that and do all that. And the pump had a little bit of stuff in it, but again, same scenario. It's like, what? I don't know if that's enough to clog it. But we thought maybe the pump was just bad. It just wasn't able to do the job. So after I put the pump on, and you were there, and then we put it all back together, and when I ran a water spin cycle through it just to put water in it and make sure it drains out, it was pumping out water with authority with the new pump. So I thought it's got to be, I bet you that's it. Ran one load, you were here, ran the load, and I was like, okay, it's good. Everything seems to be fine. After you had left, Tried to run a second load. Or was it after you left, or were
No,
you still here?
before I left.
Yeah, ran a second load and it comes up with the same error code. I'm like, oh crap. So I tell Deb about it. I'm like, I'm gonna have to call a technician, I think, because I'm not sure. I went from the pump. The water goes through the tumbler and everything. It goes through it all, and it goes from the pump and then goes out the back and it exhausts out. I'm like, I've changed the pump. There's nothing there. There's no way this thing isn't draining. So anyways, I was laying in bed, still going through YouTube stuff and just trying to check it out. And every video that I saw, they said, well, check the filter first, which I obviously did.
Right.
And, check the exhaust port, and it's going to be something in that filter. You're going to find a sock in there, which we have once before, by the way. We found a sock in there one time, years ago.
Really?
Yeah, because it wasn't draining. Something was acting weird. We're like, what the hell? So I pulled the filter out, and there was an actual one single sock had somehow or another made its way through there, and that's what that filter's for, is for that stuff.
That's where they go.
Yeah, if they get lost, they don't actually leave. They are in the
Really
machine
flushed out.
somewhere.
Either in the machine or flushed out.
Yeah. So anyway, so I checked the filter. Again, there was nothing there, so it's like, okay. I finally happened to find this one video, and the guy says, well, if it's not this, it's not this, it's not this, check this. Mm-hmm. And it was just another, like a three-way port. When the water drains out of the big drum, it goes into this rubber hose, and that hose goes to the pump. Mm-hmm. So I changed from the pump out, and it was between the drum and the pump is where the actual clog was at. So I went back in the machine on my day off on Tuesday, and by now I'm a pro. I know where everything is. I've done it 4 times. So I pulled that thing out, and there's one big port. Try to show the camera. One big port, and then there's a side port that goes in, almost like a bladder, and it comes in there. And the small port, which was part of the draining system, was completely clogged. Not a little bit, completely clogged. So I had to take a screwdriver and pop it through there, and it popped out like it was a cork in a glass of wine.
Oh, jeez.
Or a bottle of wine. So, yeah. So I scrubbed that out, cleaned it out, put it all back together. Totally fine. Everything's
wonderful.
Yeah. What a job.
At least it's still working.
Yeah.
And then it cost you, what, like $25?
And it cost me $25 and
Anytime.
3 or 4 times getting there to do it. But you have that sense of accomplishment that you fixed the stupid thing, But it was either that or we'd have to go out and buy a new washer. More than likely, since they're 10 years old, you're going to have to get a dryer. Because if either it's going to go out right away or it's not going to match, you're not going to be able to get enough. So that's, for those front loaders like that, real nice ones, they're $1,000 for a pair or up, right? I was like, I don't want to spend $1,000 right now. We got to do a furnace next spring. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do a furnace. But we got to. So, anyways, so that's, we did that. And then Tyler broke his caliper and his brakes.
How, pray tell, did he break his caliper?
Because he's so massive. He pulled on the... was so funny. He says, look, Dad, I got the bolt in the caliper. Look at that right there. I broke it off. It's so wimpy.
Wait a minute.
He broke the bolt.
How did he break
the
the bolt on the caliper?
Well, you know the old saying, lefty tighty, righty loosey. Is that how it goes? Oh, that's right, Tyler. It's lefty loosey, righty tighty.
Well, no. Let's give Tyler a little bit of credit, okay?
Is that what he did? What'd he do? You tell me.
He knew lefty loosey.
Yes, he did.
Righty tighty.
He
He
knows
did
that.
that.
He knows that.
But
did he do that?
Well, yes, in his mind he did. Because looking at remember, the caliper bolts are on the back side of the caliper.
Sure.
So looking at it, he was going lefty loosey.
Right.
But if you turn around and you're looking from the engine side of the car,
Are you saying
That's
that
the
he was
wrong
going righty tighty? He went righty tighty. Yeah.
using a big breaker bar and broke 2 caliper bolts.
Yeah. Well,
And
one of them
it
was in a
wasn't-
bracket.
Right. A caliper bolt and a bracket. But it wasn't until he broke both caliper bolts because he broke one off and the other one was just spinning, remember?
Oh, that's right. It broke inside.
Yes. And we didn't realize until the bracket
Love you,
bolt
buddy. Love you, buddy.
that he was doing it the wrong way because we weren't supervising him.
No.
Because he was just taking the bar. I mean, for the most part, knew what he was doing and what he needed to take apart. He was doing okay.
And this isn't his first time doing these.
Right.
He's done these a couple of times with
Right.
Dad, with me.
Right.
And he knows what he's doing, and he does. And this is all in your defense, buddy, because we love you. 2004 Dodge Dakota. It's still the original caliber. They're 20 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. So even if he had done them the absolute correct way and not messed up or got them back
They
or
weren't
like
Yeah,
that.
the bolts weren't turning really well. That's for sure.
Right. There's a high probability they were going to break anyways.
That's why he was having a problem too, because it didn't matter when it did try going the other way.
Yeah.
It was still not moving. So he, in his mind, he thought he was turning the right way.
Well, and one more thing. The reason why we kind of get a kick out of this is in the car world, when you have all these vehicles and you try to do a lot of this maintenance on your own, you're going to break hundreds of bolts, right? And Jim's been there many times. I've been there many times. So when he did it, it's almost like a rite of passage. Like, oh, he broke his bolt. Jim, hey, look at, you did it too. Ha, ha, ha. Everybody that works on their cars ends up doing that. So it wasn't a big deal. But anyways, we got those off. But then he bought a new caliper. Brought it over, so we had to connect it, do the bracket bolts. That gets on there first. First put the rotor on, put the bracket on there. Then, you get the caliper on there, you put the pads on there, doing all that kind of stuff. And as he's trying to put on one of the final, was it a caliper bolt? It was a caliper bolt. It
I
wasn't a
thought
bracket
it was the
bolt.
bracket bolt.
No, it was a caliper bolt.
You're right. It wasn't the
Yeah,
caliper bolt.
because we had to pry it off to get it off. But anyways, he put on the new caliper bolt, and then that bolt broke. And again, in his defense,
Tightening it.
Yeah, tightening it, just tightening it. He wasn't using like a breaker bar on it. He was just, or maybe he was, but he was just doing just basic tightening. And the head of the bolt broke off. So we were able to maneuver and get the caliper back off of it, so we could take everything apart, so we
Right.
could send it back and do all that. But of course, this is long after the store's closed.
Right. Yeah. They're closed
That
now.
truck ain't going anywhere. It's up on jack stands in my garage. And anyways, he was very frustrated. It was not a good day.
Yeah.
Actually, it wasn't a great day because that was the day that the laundry, the washer went down, and it stayed down because it didn't get fixed that day. We did 2 episodes on the podcast and 1 got erased. And then this all happened. It was just not a productive Sunday for stuff. We had fun. It was still a good day to be together, and we had dinner, and it was,
I had a good time.
Callahan can't. Yeah. That's right. That kind of stinks. Nothing happened to him at all. It all
a real
happened to
good-
the
I had
losers
a
over
good day.
here. All us losers.
I will say something in Tyler's defense here, talking about that caliper. And you and I commented on when he did it. The caliper bolts were what? Like half an inch long to go
Yeah.
into that bracket? And I have never, ever seen a caliper bolt that did not go all the way through the frickin' caliper before.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. If they go all the way through the caliper, he doesn't break that thing tightening it down. There's no way. Without excessive force.
Right.
He may have broken he broke the ones taking them off. That's, like you said, they were old. But I just think that played into it. The fact that thing was so small, and I've never seen that before. It was weird. Just different, something that Chrysler did one time probably for whatever reason.
A lot of recalls on broken bolts.
Oh
I
my
bet.
gosh, it's just what are you gonna do?
Poor kid. Love that guy.
Yeah, in his defense, the one he broke putting back on, he didn't do anything wrong. It was just
No, but it put him through the ringer.
yeah.
Which we've all been there. Most guys have been there if they work on their cars.
Everything went okay Monday. He fixed it and got it.
Monday was. Now, of course, he he claims it's because I was there. It was going to be good anyways. It was just the bad day on that Sunday. Sometimes it seems like karma's bad and it's just hitting you. Went to work Monday. He comes into work, borrows my truck. Right, Callahan brought him in, dropped him off. He borrows my truck. He takes the parts back, exchanges them, no problem. Comes back to work. He works the rest of the day. We both get off work at 7:30, 8 o'clock. Jumps in my truck. We drive home here. We change our clothes to get some, grubby clothes on and stuff. And we go out there, and I'm getting ahead of myself. Once Tyler got the parts, right, and the store's right down the street, he drove down here still. He came home over here.
Okay.
And manually put all the parts on, but didn't tighten anything down with the machine. Did everything by hand.
Okay.
So when we got here, brackets on, calipers on, pads are on, rotors on. Everything is on. It just has to be tightened down and torqued down. So I just go through there and just kind of check it a little bit, and he just goes, "I don't want to tighten them. I don't want, I don't want to do it, Dad." But he did tighten the bracket bolts. I checked the caliper bolts, so we just snugged them up real good. But they were fine, and he did a great job. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
So he's a good boy. He knew what he was doing. So we did that, and then we put the tire back on. We didn't get to do the O2 sensors that he wanted to get done.
Right.
Because the angle that they're at, we really need to have it on a lift to be able to get in there and do it. And I don't have, this is one of the tools that I don't think either one of us have, but they make special sockets that are designed specifically for O2 sensors.
Oh, really?
And you have to be really careful because those O2 sensors are typically threaded into an exhaust line.
Right.
And if you screw that up or you mess up those threads, now you're in trouble, So my technician friend Bob over at work said, just be careful when you're taking those things out because if you overpower it or you strip it out, it's real easy to strip them out. He goes, now you got a problem. Because you have to either rethread it or do some different things. It's just tough. But anyways, we couldn't get those, so we're going to do that next week at work.
Okay.
We'll just do it there. But yeah, how fun was that? Good Lord, poor kid. But like I said, we've all been there, so.
It's like a rite of passage, like you said.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. That kind of reminds me of that real quick story when we were in Georgia, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but we're driving the Ohio General Lee, if you will, and we're driving that, and we're the first day we're there, and we're driving, and then every time we were hitting a bump, we're in this every time the car kind of goes down, we're like, what the hell is that noise, right? So we pull in the gas station. As we pull in here, this, we're like, what the hell are we dragging?
You talking about on the way down there?
Yeah, on the way down there. Like, what are we dragging? It's really weird. So we...
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Wait.
Go ahead.
You're getting ahead of yourself. Because we were, at Findlay, maybe 40 minutes away from home?
Yeah.
And we're driving, and we're all excited. And all didn't we hear something like go... like a tire popped?
We thought
Remember?
so. Mm-hmm.
And didn't we pull over then, too? Right away?
I think we might have. I don't remember now.
And then it sounded like... Yeah, like a tire, like it was right by my feet too. We're like, what the hell was that? And we're like waiting for the radiator fluid to like come inside. We thought antifreeze was going to come in. You were checking the gauges. Everything was good because I think we got out, looked at the tire, and we opened the hood. No, we're good. So we get going. And then, then later.
Yeah, then it starts bouncing up and down. So then I start, my head, I'm doing bad math, and I'm going, what popped? Was that a shock?
Yeah, right.
Did we lose a shock? Is that why it's bottoming out? So we needed gas anyways because we were almost there to a degree, about halfway or whatever we're doing. So we pull in the gas station, we get some gas anyways, and then there was that very nice woman that was outside. She worked at the gas station, some Pohick little town wherever we were at. I think it was Kentucky somewhere. But anyways, we get gas. We're looking underneath the car. There's nothing to be found. There's no exhaust pipes hanging.
I looked under the driver or the passenger door and looked underneath. There was no puddles. Nothing was leaking. We popped the hood. Nothing spraying over the engine. No, nothing.
But we're like, what is that noise? Excuse me. So then we just say, hey, it's a ghost hut. There's nothing here. It's a ghost hut. Let's just go. We drive down. As we drive down away from, we're at the pump, right? We're just tooling around to get out. And all you can hear is, we're like, what the hell? And then the lady that's the attendant is outside smoking. She goes, you're dragging. Like, you're dragging under your car, What the shit is this? So we turned around, and we're like, it's under the front. It's like it's right on the front because at this point, finally, we can kind of determine where it was.
Yeah.
So I crawl up under the front, and there's the cover that's under the engine compartment. That's so that you drop that down, like when you're going to change oil and stuff. That drops down and exposes the whole underbelly of the motor, and just that shield just stops stuff from going up in there. Well, somehow or another, it got loose, and it came down, and we caught it on something on the highway. And that's what some of that noise was, and that's what that dragging was, because it was hanging down. And
It's
it was
just hanging
almost
on the
shredded.
right side.
It was hanging on the right
yeah,
side.
you hit bumps and stuff. It's
Yeah. So I'm like, oh my God, So I go inside and lay the smoking the cigarette. She's back inside now. She's the attendant. And I said, hey, do you have any zip ties? So I said, I got to tie this thing up, man. I got to get some zip ties. And she says, no, we don't sail into zip ties. But she said, well, hold on a minute. And she goes around behind the register. Remember this? She goes around behind the register, and she pulls out this bag of zip ties. And she goes, well, I just had these. We were doing some work on some stuff, and we had these. You want to use some of these? Remember this?
I remember.
And I'm like, yeah. I mean, you don't sell them, but you got them. I'm
Those
like,
are perfect.
this is awesome. So I go out, and this is what I remember. Maybe I'm not remembering right, but this always makes me smile and laugh, because this is one of the greatest parts. And the trip just started, but it's like one of the greatest memories for me. And I probably got it wrong. But I'm under the car, and I'm working on it, and I don't have enough hands. So you get under the car with me, and you're holding the piece up so I can do some stuff. And then I just feel I felt like either you tap me or nudge me or something. I look over at you, and you got this big, like, goofy-ass smile on your face. And you go, isn't this great? Isn't this fun? Don't you love this? And I just remember to start giggling and go, yeah.
We're working on the general.
It's just, it was so stupid, but it was fun. I just remember you going, isn't this fun? Isn't this just great, man? Isn't this cool? And, anybody else would be like, oh, my God, we're tearing the car apart. Now, was it going to make it the rest of the way? And blah, blah. And it was fine. I mean, the rest of the trip, knock on wood,
It
the
was
car
just a
was
freak
really
thing.
good.
It just fell off. It must have hit something at one point and ripped it.
It caught something. But, yeah, it was,
yeah.
God, that was fun.
Did you ever get that fixed?
You're dragging.
Or is it still zip
No.
tied?
I had to buy a new cover, which I have. And every time I tried to get it there, it's a big long story. But anyways, no, it's not repaired yet. Yes, I have the parts. The car's in storage for the winter.
Okay.
Next spring.
Gotcha.
One of the things also that I wanted to talk about or ask you about. Let's see here. We went through that. Let's see.
Go back to the topics real quick. You were talking about topics. One thing I was thinking of,
Yeah.
be kind of cool, and this would be the appropriate time to do it. Not right this second, but maybe the next time we get on air, we should go back, you and I, separately, review the podcast. Jot down any notes you want about something you want to talk about again, or review.
Good idea.
Discuss us discussing it. So we, I'm serious. There's a couple things that were said.
They don't know that we know that they know.
They don't know that we know. Even if I wanted to.
Jim's favorite artist, the Foo Fighters. She's not listening. Deb's
Yeah,
not
but you could watch all the episodes. I'll watch all the episodes. Just jot down some ideas, and then we'll discuss them.
I know that in a couple of those episodes, we would touch or we'd make a comment that maybe the viewers didn't understand, but we'd make a comment that you and I understood the connection to.
Yes.
And there's probably talking points with those
Yes.
that we didn't get into. Let's talk about, it's 33 minutes in now, so you want to take a break soon? Or are you good for a minute?
I'm good.
If we talk about, we talked about your family. Let's talk about my family real quick. No news is good news with Deb and I. We've been very lucky. The only illness I have, because we talked about you being sick, was that unfortunate incident when Phil was here, which was New Year's Eve and New Year's Day for me. And it was not good. I was on the couch for a day and a half and either wanted to be left alone or just to die. I was done. But I got away from that pretty quickly, so that was lucky. Thank you, Lord, for that. Moving on to Sam. Sam's going to graduate spring. So she'll have her BA, and she'll be on her way. So in a sense, as a parent, you almost go, okay, let's check mark that. One kid should be good now. Push the boat out into the water. I think it'll float,
Yeah.
So happy about that. She's worked very hard on that. And even in certain situations where it might have been more difficult for her because she made it more difficult. Everybody does that, but she still pushed through. So that says something. That's
Yeah.
character building. Tyler, let's move on to him. He's an official bolt breaker. No, I'm just kidding. He has an in with a guy to become an electrician.
Oh, really?
And so he has applied for an electrical union to try to become an apprentice as as an electrician. So he's really hoping for that. We're crossing our fingers, buddy. Hopefully he can get in there and do that. But that's what he's going to pursue. We talked to Abby today. Obviously, she's going to be continuing soccer, continuing dance. Wants to be a lab. What did she call that kind of? What was it? A technician?
Ultrasound technician.
Ultrasound tech. That's right. I couldn't think of ultrasound. Ultrasound technician. So nothing's really changed there, other than her schedule is, I mean, crazy.
Right.
She's so busy. Mondays are like she doesn't even get home and even think about getting to bed until 10:30, 11 o'clock at night on a school night because she's practicing here and practicing there. And
Yeah,
it's in
it's crazy.
Rossford and it's here and it's or she has dance. Well, the kids at your age, Abby, we have you do the dancing at 9:30 to 10:30. What? Why
Yeah,
so
what?
late? Why so? But anyways, that's just the way it works out. So it is what it is. The kids will sleep later on a weekend, I guess. But
Yeah.
But anyways, that's the scoops there. Why don't we take a quick bathroom break and do that, and we'll come back. We got about 36 minutes in, anyways.
Okay.
I got some more stuff here we can go through after.
Okay.
All right, after. As
Nathan would say.
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh God.
He's gonna hate us.
I'm so sorry, Nathan. Not sorry.
Jesus Christ. That's Jason Bourne.